Today I'm going to show you 2 easy ways to remove the backgrounds from your logos in Photoshop regardless of what colors are in your logo or what background color you're starting with. So for our first example, we're going to start with a simple logo that just has a black solid colored background. The same steps will apply if you have a white background or any other solid colored background. Because we only have one color back there, the best selection tool for the job is the Magic Wand tool. Since we have a solid color as our background, the Magic Wand tool will do the best job to create a selection because it will sample that one color, find all of the other similar colors in your photo, and then you can remove them all at once. So to access the Magic Wand tool, just press W on your keyboard, but if you don't see it, it could be hidden underneath one of your other tools like the Object Selection tool or the Quick Selection tool. So just click and hold here to reveal the panel and go to the Magic Wand tool. Now I talk about this tool way more in depth in this video if you'd like to learn more, but we're gonna go over it in a quick fashion here so you can get the background of your logo removed. First, we'll set our sample size to 3:3 average, then we'll set our tolerance to 32. To show you why this is the case, let me set the tolerance to 2, for example, and I'll click on my canvas to create a selection. You can see how around the edges of parts of my logo, the selection is not right against the edge of the graphic. So that's because our tolerance is too low, so 32 is a great starting point. I'll press Command or Control D to deselect that, go back to my tolerance and type in 32. Now in this particular example, the background is black, but I also have black within the logo here. And let's say I want to keep this black area in the middle of my logo. That's where the contiguous setting is going to be helpful, because if contiguous is enabled, that means you will only be able to select the background and it will not jump into any part of your graphic. To show you what I mean here, I'll disable contiguous and then click once on my background to select that color. As you can see here by the marching ants, I have a selection around the inside as well as the outside. So the Magic Wand tool has selected both the background as well as the blacks within the graphic. However, if I enable contiguous this time and I click once again on the background, this time it will only select the black pixels behind your logo and nothing within your logo. And that's because with contiguous enabled, all the pixels that are sampled need to be touching in order for them to be added to your selection. So if you have issues with the sample of your background jumping in and selecting areas inside your logo, just make sure to enable contiguous and everything will be good to go. Now in this case, I'm happy with my selection. Again, I just clicked on the background color to set that sample. Photoshop did the rest of the work for me, and I have a nice selection around all the areas of my logo. Now to remove the background with that layer selected, I'll just go and click the layer mask icon. Obviously, this is the opposite of what we want, so I'll press Command or Control I with that layer mask selected to remove the background. Now if there's any leftover areas, like as you see here between some of the lettering, we can still use the Magic Wand tool to touch that up. So still with the Magic Wand tool selected, the exact same settings enabled, I'm going to first click inside of the area I want to remove, then I'll hold the Shift key so I can continue to add to that existing selection, and I'll click inside of the other problem areas. So I clicked once inside of the D, and then I held the Shift key and clicked inside of the A, and then the R to create a selection of all those. Now with the layer mask selected and our foreground color set to black, we'll hold Alt or Option and Delete to fill that selected area with black, which means on our layer mask it will now become transparent. I'll then press Command or Control D to deselect that, and now we have successfully cut out our logo. Now from here, I'm assuming you want to have a transparent background when you export, and in that case you need to export to a PNG file because otherwise the transparency will just turn to white if you save to, say, a JPEG, for example. So to export as a PNG, just go to File, save a copy, and then here you can give your file a name, but most importantly, down in the format setting, we'll set this to PNG, and then we can click Save. Set the file size to large and click OK, and now you'll have that transparent logo saved on your computer. So that first example was pretty straightforward, but let's go through something where there's a little bit more issues that we might run into, such as a multicolored background and also having very thin edges within our logo. So in this next example, I have sort of this rainbow gradient behind my logo, and if I use the Magic Wand tool and I click on my image, you can see how it doesn't quite select the entire background background at once. Instead, it's just selecting different colors within the gradient, but rarely the entire thing at once. So rather than continuing to add to my selection and hoping the tool will select everything, we can do something much easier with channels. So beside the layers panel, you should see a tab called channels, but if you don't, just go to window and down here to channels. Now I've talked about channels more in depth in this video if you'd like to learn more, but the basic information about it is that we can click on these individual color channels to find contrast in our image and therefore create a selection between our background and our logo elements. So clicking between these different color channels, we want to find the one with the most contrast. In this case, the blue color channel has the best contrast between the background and the logo. Once you find that color channel, just click and drag that color channel down to the new layer icon. Now with that channel copy selected, press Command or Control L to bring up the levels adjustment layer. The reason we need to do this is to ensure that our background is 100% white and our logo is 100% black. So in this case, the background is just a little bit off. It's not fully white. So I'll go to the highlight slider here and I'll just bump this up a little bit to increase the brightness of the background. The logo looks really good and it's totally black. I don't need to darken that at all. But there is something that is important when you're playing around with these settings, because if you go too crazy with this, look at what happens to the edges of my text. You can see here how it starts to become more and more pixelated the further you push these contrast settings. So you don't want to go crazy with this. You want to use the minimum amount to get the result you need so that you end up with the smoothest edge for your selection. So in this case, I'm just going to increase those whites a touch, and then the blacks I'll increase a touch as well. Now with that done, I'll click OK, and now let's turn this into a selection. By holding Command or Control and hovering over the channel copy thumbnail, we can click on that to activate a selection. Now going back to the layers panel, making sure our image layer is selected, we can go and add a layer mask to apply that selection onto the mask. Obviously, this is the opposite of what we want, so we'll press Command or Control I on that layer mask to invert the mask, and now we have the proper things selected. Now to double check that everything is looking good, especially with those really skinny lines with part of the lettering here, I'm going to add a new color fill layer behind my logo. I can do that by going to Layer, New Fill Layer, Solid Color, click OK. Just add some kind of darker color so you can see the separation between your logo and the background. And then we'll drag that color fill layer below our logo. Now zooming in, we can start to see some more issues here. So I'll just make this color a little brighter quickly so we can see better. Perfect. So zooming in, we can see that there are some issues with the edges. There's a little bit of white left over and some things are looking a little bit pixelated. So we can use Selected Mask to touch that up a bit using a couple simple sliders. To access Selected Mask, just double click on your layer mask, and this will open the Selected Mask workspace. Now here what we can do is adjust the smooth, contrast, and shift edge sliders to refine the sharpness of the edges in our text. But depending on the thickness of your graphics or the other elements in your logo, the settings you use here will vary on how intense you can do them. So in this case, I'll just set the smooth amount to something very minimal, like 1. Then I'll go to the shift edge and I'll bring that in a touch as well to remove some of that fringing. Now I'll increase the contrast a touch to make those edges a little bit more sharp. So that looks pretty good to me right there. Finally, to get rid of any excess weird looking areas, I'll click the Decontaminate color box to enable that. Now my edges are looking nice and smooth, everything looks perfectly crisp, and I'll set the output to New Layer with Layer Mask and click OK. So this creates a duplicate version of our logo with all the updated adjustments. This is helpful because if you make a mistake, you can always delete this layer and start fresh with your original layer. But in this case, I'm quite happy with how this is looking, and let me just quickly show you a before and after of these logos. I just quickly moved these two logos around so we can compare them side by side, and so this bottom logo is after our Selected Mask adjustments, and this top logo is with our original selection. So you can see how much smoother this looks after the Selected Mask refinements versus this pixelated edge that we have here. So it's a really quick adjustment that's super worthwhile. Anyways, back to our original document, I'm going to delete the old logo layer, and I'll also delete the background fill layer so we have our transparent background. Now once again, if you want to export with a transparent background, we need to export to PNG. But this time I want to show you a slightly different method of doing this with the Export As window in case you need to resize your logo for your website or something like that. Rather than going to File, Save a Copy, this time we're going to go to Export and then Export As. Within this window, we'll set the format to PNG, and we want to make sure the transparency is checked like so. Now from here, you could just click export and you'd be done. But if you need to do any resizing adjustments, let's say I need this logo to be 400 by 400 pixels. I could just type in 400 in the width box and it will automatically resize my logo to that new dimension. And you won't have to worry about something online compressing your file because you have the proper dimensions on the original export and you'll likely have a higher quality logo as a result. Once you're happy with that, just make sure the convert to sRGB is checked as well as the embed color profile. Click export. Then you can choose a location on your computer, click save, and now you're good to go. So those are the two different ways that you can export transparent backgrounds in Photoshop, and these are just a few selection tools that are super handy for just about any type of background removal needs. Now, if you want to learn more about background removals in Photoshop, make sure to check out this video right here where I share 4 of the best ways for beginners to remove backgrounds that are helpful for images, logos, or any other projects you're working on.